This is a second grade math video by me, Miss Jackson Smith, and in today's video we are going to be learning about something new called area, and we're also going to be learning about unit squares. If you have not watched the videos and done the work for Monday and Tuesday for this week where we learned about perimeter, I would say go ahead and go back and do those videos first, because then what we're going to do today is going to be a lot easier and make a lot more sense, all right? But if you've already done those videos, amazing job, and you are ready to get started with this video. Make sure, of course, that you have a pencil, something to write with, and a piece of paper so that you can learn all along with me. First up on our agenda for today is we are going to learn how to count the total number of unit squares in a shape so that I can determine the area of that shape. I'm really curious about what that means, and I think we're going to find out later. But first off, let's do our warm-up. We're going to do a story problem today for our warm-up, and this story problem is about a kidster named Miracle, and she is making a new floor out of tiles. She uses a tile to measure each wall of her rectangular room, and the room is 6 tiles long and 4 tiles wide. So our job is to find out how many tiles does she need to fill the whole room. Let's draw a picture to find out. First, I'm going to just mark up the important information. So the room is 6 tiles long and 4 tiles wide. And we want to find out the total number of tiles that would fill up the room. So let's do a drawing. I drew a rectangle because I know it's a rectangular room. And I'm labeling the short side with 4 tiles and the long side with 6 tiles because 4 is less than 6. Then I'm going to draw these tiles like little boxes. So I have 4 tiles and 6 tiles, and I'm going to draw them inside of my shape like this. So I want you to go ahead and pause the video right here and see if you can make your paper look just like mine. And I've heard from a couple of Kipsters that that sometimes the videos are going a little bit too fast. So you can always pause the video if you are feeling a little like it's going too fast and you need a little more time. That's always okay. But I filled in my box like this, but we don't just want tiles along the sides. We want to fill up the whole room. So I went ahead and filled in the whole room with tiles just like this. So now I want you to fill in your rectangle just like this. And double check that one side has 4, and then the other side we're going by 6 tiles, okay? Now that you've done your drawing, it's all labeled, it's time to write our number sentence and our answer statement. So I wonder what number sentence we could write for this problem. When I look at this picture, it reminds me of something that we learned before we had this break from school. When we were back all together, we were learning about arrays. And arrays, remember, have rows and columns. So I know that with arrays, I can write repeated addition sentences because in arrays, we have equal groups. Let me show you what I mean. I see that each column has 4 tiles in it. So I could write a repeated addition sentence to represent the columns by writing 4 6 times. So here's a group of 4, here's a group of 4, here's a group of 4, and so on. And so this is my repeated addition sentence. Then, and this is what we've been doing all week, is looking for facts we know. Because I don't want to add 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 just in my head. I can simplify it. So I make a group of 4, that's 8. Then another one, and then another one. So now I have a bunch of 8s, but that looks a little simpler. Then I'm going to regroup again. 8 plus 8 is 16. It's just a doubles fact that I know. So I can write that. And now I just have 16 plus 8. Now, I don't know that fact just right away, but that's a lot easier to solve. 16 plus 8 is 24. So I wrote down 24 tiles. So Miracle needs 24 tiles to fill up her whole room. So we just did our warm-up, and now it's time for me to teach you some new words. I am so excited for you to learn this. A little secret is that usually Kipsters don't even learn what area is in this kind of way until 3rd grade. So you're doing some really exciting stuff today. The first word I'm going to teach you is something called a square unit. Say square unit. A square unit is a square that has sides that are 1 unit long. What do you think a unit is? In our last video, I said don't forget the units. And what I was talking about there was things like centimeters or inches. Units are the kind of repeated objects that we use to measure, and they're always like the same size, right? So inches or centimeters. But sometimes we're going to deal with something that's just square units, and that just means that each side is 1 unit length long. It could be inches, it could be centimeters, it could be feet, we don't know. So square units are 1 unit long on each side. So let's take a look at this grid of unit squares and looking at perimeter. I've got a little video to show you. Oh, well, maybe I'll link the video below. Oh, there it goes. So watch, we're finding the perimeter of each of these rectangles. That one was 12. Now we've got 2 plus 4 plus 2 plus 4, which is 12. And then we have 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3, which is 12. So each of those squares, or each of those rectangles was 12 units in its perimeter. But what about this thing called area? Area is the space inside of a shape. Or we can think about area as the number of square units that we can fit inside of a shape, just like that tile problem that we just did. So let's look at this first shape. All of these shapes have a perimeter of 12 units. We just found that out. But let's find the area. So on this first rectangle, the area is the square units. So let's count them. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the area is 5 square units. On the green rectangle, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 square units. Now let's count for the purple rectangle. Count it with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the area is 9 square units. We're going to keep looking for area in all of our work today. So watch me find the area of this shape. I'm going to show you the steps I think about. First off, I'm going to think the area is how many square units would fit inside this shape. So I could try counting the squares one by one, but I'm a little worried. It looks like a lot of squares, and I might lose track while I'm counting. Is there a faster way? We're going to try skip counting by the rows and the columns. So first let's do the rows. We could skip count by 3s. 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. So I would get 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. That's 15 square units. That was pretty easy. That was a lot easier than counting by ones. Or I could do columns. And I've got columns of 5. So I could count by 5s. 5, 10, 15. You can count by columns or rows to find the area. Both ways work. You can really just pick your favorite. It's up to you. So now let's do some practice, and you guys get to choose how you find the area. So what's the area of this shape? Remember, we want to find out how many square units are inside of that shape. So these are all the different ways you could choose to count. I don't think we should count one at a time, but you should pick your favorite, pause the video right now, and find out the total area. Then when you're ready to find out how I did it, press play. So I chose to write a repeated addition sentence for the rows. You might have done it a different way, and that's okay, but let's see how I did it. So I looked at the rows, and each row has 4 in it. So I wrote the number 4 over and over, 4 times to represent the 4 rows that we have. So 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. I look for facts I know. 4 plus 4 is 8. 4 plus 4 is 8. So now I just have 8 plus 8. And 8 plus 8 is 16. So the area is 16 square units. If you got the same number, you should give yourself a big pat on the back. And if you didn't get the same number, just go back and check your work and make sure that you are adding equal groups when you're adding the number of rows or you're adding the number of columns. Next, let's look at the area of this shape. You could copy it down on your paper, or you can just look at it with me. Remember, it's up to you to choose the way that you're counting. You could count one at a time, which looks kind of crazy for this one, so I'm just going to cross that out. Or you could skip count the rows, skip count the columns, or do repeated addition sentences. But I want you to pause the video right now and try and do this one on your own. I know it looks kind of big, but I think that you're going to be able to do it on your own. So pause the video, and then I'm going to trust that you press play when you're ready to find out my way. All right, I hope that you showed a little bit of integrity and tried to do it on your own first. I'm going to choose skip counting the rows because I looked at the rows and I saw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in each row, and I know that I am great at skip counting by fives, and you guys are pretty great at it too. So let's try skip counting by fives. If you did it a different way, don't erase your paper. Just try it along with me this way too. So I've got 5, and then I write a little comma because I'm skip counting. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. That was super easy. The area of this shape is 35 square units. That's how many square units fit inside. All right, we're all done with our practice for today. On Google Classroom, I have a couple more problems for you to do where you find the total area, so how many square units fit inside a shape. And I'm really excited to see your work on your own and see what great things you learned today. In our video tomorrow, we're going to be doing a couple more things with area, and I hope that you're excited because we're going to do a little bit with multiplication too. I know a lot of you were really excited to learn about multiplication. So that's all for today. I miss you guys so much, but I'm also really proud of how hard you're working at home and how you're continuing to grow your brains each and every day with your online work. So that's all for today, but I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.